right, so I've finished with decorating this little space. This is entryway number 1, and entryway number 2, the full video will be linked down below so you can kind of like see it. But I really do love how this turned out. This is stepping outside of my typical decorating comfort zone because I don't decorate with black. So, but it turned out exactly kind of like how I envisioned it. I think I'll add a photo of my inspiration from Pinterest, but he loves this rug. Like, I'm telling you, he's obsessed with it. So anyways, this rug actually came from the laundry room in the previous house, and it actually did not work in the laundry room in this house. It was right up against the door, and it's pretty thick, so the door was kind of like bumping into it. It doesn't happen with this door because it's just raised a little bit higher. So I was really happy that I actually got to repurpose it. Plus, it's even more perfect here because 1, it's the right size. It just so happened to like fit this little area perfectly, so I got to reuse it. And the second most perfect thing for this, and I truly did not mean for this to happen, but it matches the rug that you're going to see in the dining room. So you're getting a little bit of it here, but so the fact that they just match is crazy to me. But anyway, so here is the little piece, and I got this from Amazon. I'm gonna link it down below because it's an absolute gem. It wasn't that hard to put together. And the other thing that, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I was not expecting for it to be like this. I thought there was like glass, but I'm so glad there wasn't glass because as you can see, I've kind of like pulled some of this greenery out, kind of making it look like it's growing through. I just feel like it gives it this extra pop, dimension, layer, like I don't know what words you want to use, but I feel like it definitely does something. So I really like it. I thought that I would do green on the bottom to kind of balance the green that we have here at the top. And I was going through like all of my decor pieces that I have on hand. So really the only thing that's new here is gonna be this piece here and the lampshades, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so then on the inside, you guys saw that I put these candlesticks, and these were a thrifted find back in Dallas, and they were in my library in the last house. And what I love is like you can really get the pop of gold through here. So kept it ultra simple. There's really nothing else going on in here. And then the top base also recycled, I don't know why I'm out of breath, also recycled this piece from the library in the last house. I'm not gonna have a library per se in this house, so I have a lot of pieces that I can reuse in other areas, so I knew this would just be perfect here. So we have, again, another pop of gold. And then this photo, which try to hold it so you can kind of see it without the glare. But what's special about it is that black detail, which again is very interesting because I didn't even have black as a detail in my library. So it just was like, it knew in the future that it was going to be sitting here. I don't really know. All right, so then I had these lamps, and you saw that I was, that I switched out the shades. I actually was looking at these different lamps, and I will link them down below in case you want something very similar, because I almost bought these lamps, but then I said, wait, I have these lamps, and then I thought, why not just change out the lampshade? So it ended up working perfect, was a cheaper option for me, but in case you're wanting to kind of create something very similar, I will link the lamps that I originally was gonna buy. And wait till you see them because they're pretty much very similar. They just have like one added little flare with a fleur-de-lis, which looks so pretty. So yeah, I think having the black lampshades was perfect. I can always also interchange them out if I wanted to. And then I repurposed these wall decor pieces here. Can somebody refresh my memory? If you know, comment down below where these were in the last house, because for whatever reason, I don't remember. Wait, were they on the fireplace? Okay, I think that's where they were. They were on the fireplace, and then if you guys remember, I had that like window glass pane, and it actually had a wreath. That was a piece I couldn't bring with me. I talked about this in a previous video. I was so gutted that I had no room for this piece, and I ended up giving it to my neighbor. But anyways, as you can see, I was able to add a wreath, and all I did was add 2 command hooks to both of these, and then that's how I got it to kind of like sit on both of them. I don't know if that's making sense, but that's how I got it to kind of like look centered. Also, I really went back and forth with what I wanted to do here. Originally I thought I was gonna do some type of like oil painting thing, or then I thought I was gonna do a mirror. So there was just a lot that I went back and forth, but here's why I ended up on this. And I feel like this is important to mention because I want to give as many tips as I can when I'm decorating so they can kind of really like understand at least what goes on in my thought process. So let me show you reason number 1. All right, so here's reason number 1 why I decided not to go with a mirror. This is the second entryway. I will link the full video down below in case you have any questions on anything, but I already have a mirror. So because of that, I thought it would be too much to kind of replicate the same thing. Then I was left with, okay, I can either do a wreath option or I can do an oil painting. And then I realized 2 things about that. 1, you're gonna see an oil painting effect in the formal dining room. And then I realized if I do a wreath here, I can interchange out my wreaths for the holidays. And you guys know, or a lot of you know who've been following me for a long time. Well, let's just watch this for a second. What's going on here? You good or okay? So, or if you're new to my channel, one of my biggest things is I love a good wreath in the entryway because I can always change them out, or most of the time I actually leave the boxwood wreath in because it's perfect. I talk about this wreath all the time. It's so versatile for me because like if I want to do Valentine's Day, I put in little heart picks and then I don't hot glue them in because then when Valentine's Day is over, I pull them out. They stay really sturdy in there because the boxwood wreath just kind of like grabs and holds things. I do the same thing for 4th of July and Halloween and fall, and then I can always, again, remove this wreath because it is kind of more of like a summery spring green. And then when I get to fall, I can change out my wreath, and I get to Christmas, I can change out my wreath. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to bring in this feature instead of a mirror, instead of an oil painting, so that I can have like a holiday vibe kind of going on in the space. So that is my tip to you, definitely when decorating. Well, 1, there aren't any rules. So if you literally want to do the same thing in the same space throughout your whole house, do that. For me, what I like to do is I like to think about every space in my house as a whole and how it like flows together. And that's how I make certain decisions. So if that's similar to something you want to do, that's why I just kind of explained myself that way. But ultimately, I feel like this is simple, but it still has a lot of like layering and it just looks full, while somehow, in my opinion, being simple. And then I think this very neutral rug, honestly, like let's just back up. Loki's always a vibe, every day of his life. So that's pretty much it. That's it. That's the entryway number 1. Again, I will link entryway number 2 down below so you can watch me put that together if you haven't already. And then I'm just gonna swing you guys around this way, but I cannot wait for you to see this space, so stay tuned.